everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. Today I want to showcase this stamp set called Jar of Flowers, and we're going to make a real pretty card with this. I haven't really decided. I think I want to make it a friendship card, but I really haven't decided on that just yet. I'm not sure, a birthday or I've got a couple of options, but we'll get to that a little bit later. The main thing I want to do is I want to showcase this, and I want to show you what you get. Look at these beautiful sunflowers. This is a different bouquet. These look like roses, and this is just a mixed thing that looks like wildflowers, and that's the one that I want to use today. We're also going to use the stems. We're going to use this right here to make the water in our jar, and we're going to use our punch. This is a bundle. You can buy it separate, but you save 10% if you bundle, and you get this cute little punch that punches out the cutest little jar. So let's go ahead and punch our jar first thing, and I'm going to bring this over all the way to the edge and punch. And what a cute little jar. And it even has the jar ring, the little ring that goes around the top of your jar. If you wanted to do that, you could do that as well. But what I want to do is I want to actually use the and I might have to stamp this again. I'm going to use the actual jar, and it looks like it's you can see the glass and you can see the rings. And what I want to do, and I'll tell you what, let's lay this one over here. We'll use that one again in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this off right here. And let me move my other cardstock out of the way, because we're going to be working this card a little at a time. I do have a card base, and I've got the Night of Navy, and I have a Balmy Blue that I'm going to mat over top of it. I did some stamping over here and decided not to use that, so I'm not going to let this piece of cardstock go to waste, because we're going to glue it flat down to here. A great way not to waste your cardstock. Okay, so what I want to do first is I want to go ahead and put this jar on a stamp block. And I am going to stamp this. I believe I want to stamp it. I don't have all of my inks yet. I do have some more on order, but I don't have them yet. So I want to get something that will stamp this. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the Balmy Blue, because, you know, a jar looks kind of a bluish tint to it. Most mason jars. And we're going to stamp on and stamp off on this, because I don't want that full-on color, and I'll show you why. Oh, I got a scrap piece of paper right here. It's always a good rule of thumb is to have a scratch of paper. Here we go. And I'm just going to stamp that off, and see how vibrant that is? I don't want it that vibrant. I want it to be just a faint jar. Something like that. And see, that's much fainter than it is on the other one, but you can still see your jar, which is exactly what I wanted. So the next thing I want to do, let me get my little cleaning tool right here, so we can just wipe those stamps off as we use them. So I'm going to put this color up, and I think I'm going to grab the Coastal Cabana, and we're going to do our water in it. Now, there's a great thing that goes on with these, or maybe we're going to use the Pool Party. Yeah, I think I'm going to use Pool Party. The jar, both of the jars are reversible. So say you didn't want the all of the little texture that's showing the glass, you could very easily turn this over and stamp a solid image. So these are reversible, and this one is the short jar, or you can make it as the water in the jar. So I'm going to stamp it on the solid side. Let's lay it here so we can pick it up. And I'm going to stamp it in this Pool Party, which is a really soft green. And I stamped off, and then I'm going to stamp on. And that's going to look like we've got water in our jar, just faintly, which is beautiful. So I'm going to clean that one off, and I'm using my Simply Chamois to do this. And so I don't end up with so many stamp blocks, I am actually stamping as I go. Now I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to punch this out. So let's get it lined up just the way we want it. And punch. And there we go. Now I did use the heavy cardstock for that because I felt like it needed it. So now what we want to do is stamp our stems. Now I'm going to stamp these in black, and I'm going to stamp them up as close to the top as I can get them. And I'm going to show you why we're going to do it like that. When we put our flowers on top of it, we want those stems to match up perfectly. So here's our stems. Let's make sure we got it really good and dark. And I'm going up to the top, just like that, and just put a little even pressure on that. And there we go. There's our beautiful stems. I know they look stark, but we're going to color those. We are going to come in with some green, and we're going to color those in. And I am just going to use a colored marker, something like this. This is a water brush marker. And all we're going to do is just come up, and these are so easy to color. They don't have to be perfect. And just follow your lines down. Very easy process to do. Just like that. I always get quiet when I color. That's the reason so many times I go off camera to do my coloring, because it's like my quiet time. I don't know if any of you are that way, but I enjoy my quiet time when I'm coloring. And I think that's about all we need to do on that. Now we've got stems in the jar. So all we have to do now is stamp our actual flowers. So I am going to see if this will fit on here. Nope, I don't think so. So let me grab another little piece of cardstock that we can stamp that on. I'll just grab a little piece right here. And I'm going to close up this ink pad. And let's see. I think we're going to need a little bit larger stamp block than that. So let's grab this one. And because this is a larger stamp, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to take the ink to the stamp. So I'm just going to stamp this down like this. Load up that ink really good. And then we're just going to stamp this up to the top. Mash that down really good. And that is gorgeous. Just what I wanted. So, clean my stamp off again. And as you can see, I have been playing with this stamp set because I love it. So I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to color this and fussy cut it, and we will come right back together in just a moment. Alright, we are back, and as you can see, I got my piece colored, blended. I got my stems done, and this is ready to match up with the flowers, with the stems. Isn't that pretty? But what's going to make that even more beautiful is our card base. So, like I said, we're going to work, here's our card base, and this is our mat. This is cut at 11 by 4 1/4 and scored at 5 1/2. And it will give us that landscape opening from bottom to top card. This piece is cut 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to mat on top of this. But let's build our piece first. So what I want to do is I want to decide where I want this to live by doing this. So I know I want to bring that down a little bit because I want this to come down. So I think the first thing I want to do is put this on some dimensionals. So let's grab some of our Stampin' dimensionals, and I'm just going to go ahead and put maybe about 3 or 4 on here. I think that will be plenty. Yep, I think that looks good. And I'm not going to glue this down yet because I want to see exactly where I want these flowers to go. We're going to actually glue the flowers flat down, and the jar is going to be sitting up. So it will give the illusion that the flowers are down inside the jar, which I think is cute. But before we do that, I have used my 2 dies. These are my squares. And I used this one and this one, and I cut out set these right there. I cut out these 2 squares. What I want to do is I want this one to live about here. And you want to try to get it as even on the card as you can, because when you're dealing with squares, it's so easy to notice if it's not squared up. So if you want to grab a T-roller, or you can do what I'm doing and just eyeball it. That looks really good right there. I'm going to put this down with some temporary adhesive. Y'all know I love to use the temporary because it helps me to get my pieces on just like I want them. So I'm going to put this right about here, and then I'm going to put the orange piece this way. And look at how much interest that brings to your card just by turning your squares to a triangle, and then you've got all these pretty angles that it's going to look so good. And then look how pretty that's going to look living on top of that. So again, I'm going to use a temporary adhesive, and we're going to stick that down right about there. And then we want to make sure that this is right about here. Now, I'm not going to put glue up on this part of it. I only want my glue to go here at the bottom. So I'm going to bring this back over, and I'm going to bring it about where I want it to go, which is right there. And now when I get ready to put this down, let me get my take your pick, and we are going to pull these off. And now we're ready to put this down, and we want to make sure that we get these lined up just like they're supposed to be. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? I just love the way this card looks. I think it's dainty, and yet it's pretty. I love this. And then I think the other element that we need is some butterflies. So I am going to get my butterfly stamp set, and I think I'm going to use a sentiment out of this stamp. And the one that I think I'm wanting is "You Are Amazing." I thought I wanted this one, but I changed my mind. "You Are Amazing." And I think this would be cute, like maybe right about here. Or maybe even right here. Let's decide how we're going to put that one on there. I'm going to close that back up. And we are going to put this on here. Just like that. Now I do want to put some permanent adhesive on here. And also on here. And you know what? I messed up because I've already glued the jar down. So you know what I'm going to do in this case? I'm going to raise this up like that. And I'm going to take some liquid glue. And I'm just going to squirt some under it. And that'll work without me having to lift my pieces. Get that piece down. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to run some glue under it. And I should have thought before I put the jar down, but you know what? I'm letting y'all see that I make mistakes just like y'all do. Like I've said so many times, just because you have a YouTube channel doesn't mean that you don't make a mistake. Because believe me, I make plenty. So I'm going to go ahead on this one and I'm going to put some snail, just like that. And I'm going to line this up, just like so. And press that down. Okay. Now we need to decide where we're going to put our "You Are Amazing." And I'm not sure yet. So let's put this on here. I'm thinking I might want to do it right across the bottom there. Maybe in this navy. Well, no, the navy won't show, so maybe the yellow. I'm going to use some liquid glue on the back of this. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to my card base. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? I am loving this card. I don't think the camera is really doing it justice. I love the dimension. I love the way it looks like our jar sitting there with our flowers in it. Now let me find my butterflies that I want to use. Back when Krista sent me some happy mail, she sent me this beautiful butterfly paper. And I have used this over and over and over because I love it. And I'm going to grab a couple of these butterflies out of this one. And what's so great about this is our butterfly punch will punch these butterflies out of this paper. Now, this paper is no longer available, and I hate to even show it because it's not. We could all hope that Stampin' Up! Would bring this back because it is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's see if we can get this one right here. And look how pretty this butterfly is. And we're going to make him look like he is actually in flight. Like that. And I also want to get one of these little ones. Let's see. Which little butterfly? How about this one right here? that one. Alright, that one didn't want to play, so let's try this one. Sometimes it's hard to line these up perfectly, but that right there is not bad. And I think 2 butterflies would probably be sufficient. And this one is going to be right here. And you want to know what else we can do? Because we have the stamp set, let me get the Butterfly Gala, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We have the antennas, so we can actually punch out the butterfly, and then we can stamp their antennas. And I think that is just the coolest thing ever. So, y'all, I cannot tell you how impressed I have been with all of the Stampin' Up! Products. They are exceptional. So I think this one needs to go right there. So let's get a little stamp. I need a little square. And I'm going to ink this up in black ink. And we are going to put him down right about let's do him over here, because I think I can get this antenna right here. Look at those perfect little antennas. And look. So I'm just going to take some glue, and I'm going to run it right here on his body. And then we are going to glue him down perfectly right there. Now, you could do the same thing if you stamp out your butterfly using your colors and then put your body in, and then you could stamp the antennas and do the same thing. Stampin' Up!, they are ingenious. I mean, the things that they give you in a stamp set is just undeniably brilliant. That's all I can say. I wasn't always a fan, as I've told many of you before. I wasn't always a fan of Stampin' Up!, but I didn't know the product. So never judge a book by its cover. Only judge if you have used it and you have a definite opinion. Because I was just like many of you. I thought it was way too pricey. But when I see what I'm getting, the quality, and I say this over and over, a lot of times I don't think we realize the quality of something until we actually use the product. And that's what happened with me with this Stampin' Up! Alright, this one's going to be right here. And I'm going to put a little liquid glue on the back of this. And then we're going to put him down right about here. Just letting him come up right there. And you know what? I think we can get You Are Amazing right across there. Or do we want to do it here? Maybe right here. I'm thinking here's where I want it to go. And what I'm going to do is I think I want... Okay, this stamp is about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to cut 3/4 of an inch off of the end of this paper. So just slightly less than an inch. And And I'm going to stamp this, and then I'm going to decide exactly where I want this to go and what type of ending I want on this. I think we're going to need a little bit bigger stamp block. So let's grab this one. And I'm going to ink this up in the Memento Tuxedo Black. Just like that. Beautiful. Now let's put our cover back on our ink pad. And now I need to decide how I want this to... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ribbon tail it. So I'm going to cut off about this amount. And I'm going to cut off about this amount. And I'm basically just eyeballing to see what I need to fit right here. And I am going to go ahead and ribbon tail the end right here. And all I did was cut up. And I'm going to go in and come over to where that cut up at. Just like that. Make that a little bit cleaner. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Just like that. And I think this is going to be perfect right here. So what we know we're going to need to do is put dimensionals right there on that end. And let's see. So we know we're going to need dimensionals on this end and not on the other end. So I'm going to put 2 right there, and then this should sit right here perfectly. And I think that's going to coordinate really well. So we're going to put liquid glue here. And I'm going to pull these off. Toby just heard my husband in the garage. He rattled something out there, so Toby is right on top of things. And look how that sits up beautifully. Now all we have to do is put a white piece of cardstock inside. And I'm going to move all of my stuff out of my way. Piece of white, and I already have some of these cut. I usually cut my cardstock. I know that when I'm doing an A2 size card, my mats are going to need to be 4 by 5 1/4, so I usually make sure that I have some of these cut ahead of time. So let's look at my stamp sets and say, you are amazing. And so grateful we are friends. I love that. So I'm going to pull this out. And all we're going to do is we're going to stamp up here at the top. And I'm going to clean these stamps off because I have left them without cleaning, which is not a good thing. And I got ink on my mat over here. But the good thing about that is it cleans off relatively easy. So there we go. So now, if we wanted to decorate inside this, so what if we did a butterfly? Let's do a couple of butterflies, and let's use I love this butterfly stamp set. It is so gorgeous. So let me grab another piece of white. I wonder if I could get away with doing it with this. Nope, not quite big enough. Okay, let's grab another piece of white that's nice and thick. And let's go ahead and we're going to regroup. Let's stamp this one right here. And I'm going to do it in the black because I want that nice black background. Beautiful. Now we can clean that off. And now we're going to stamp we're going to do these separately. Let's cover that one back up. And now we're going to do the top wings. And I'm going to get over top of it so that I can get the blue right where I want it. Beautiful. I love the way that works. And we'll put those back on here. And we'll pick up these. And what color do I want his bottom to be? I want to do yellow. Let's do Daffodil Delight. I think that'll be cute. And I'll come right over top of it. Beautiful. Okay, let's get this stamp block cleaned off and stamp. And now we need to do his little body. We'll come back with the black for that. Oh, we got to do the little one. And this is what I was talking about. You could build your own butterfly and then stamp it out. And it would work beautifully. So let's go ahead and get the body. We have a large body and a small body. And I take the thicker part to be the head. So I'm going to pick that up. Grab my memento. And I'm going to come in and get right over top of him. Beautiful. Now the other thing that we need to do I think I'm going to color the little one. Rather than stamping the color on him, I think I'm just going to grab a Maybe a blue marker. I love coloring butterflies. I think they're so pretty, and you can make them so many different colors. Let's grab an orange. Maybe a yellow, a real bright, pretty yellow. And let's do some pink. And how about a little bit of green? Just like that. And now we're going to come in with that punch. And we're going to bring this up just like this. You want to get it lined up as best you can with even amount of white all the way around. And punch. That's really heavy cardstock, so that's why it punched so hard, but that's okay. All right. So now we can go ahead and put, now if you noticed I didn't do its body down long enough, but that's okay. We got scissors and we can just go in and cut right around that, just like that. And we can actually put this one down and do the same thing with this one. We still need to do the body on this one. So there's our little body right there. I think that way would be the right way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stamp and try to get right in the middle. Pretty good. Pretty good considering. Okay. So now we need to do the little antenna wings. So we're going to decide where we're going to put him. And I think he's going to go right here. So I'm going to do antennas right there. And I need my bigger antennas. Don't want to lose those little pieces, believe me. I have lost pieces of my stamp sets before and it's so irritating. So I'm going to go about here, and then we're ready to glue these down. And I'm just going to glue these flat down. So let's bring that right there. And bring it up even with those antennas. That's perfect. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. Just going to spread a little bit of ink around the wings and put him down right there. The wings just make them look so much more alive. I love it. Now, this was kind of a fussy card. It was a lot of, work, a lot of piecing, a lot of coloring, stamping. But you know what? I find that when I make a card like this, I enjoy the process so much. I think because you do put work in it. You actually sit back and look at your labor, and it makes me happy. And that's what crafting should do. It should make us happy. So I hope that you get happiness out of your crafting. I know I do. And that's why I do it, because I love it. And I'm sure that y'all feel the same way. None of us would craft if we didn't enjoy it. It is our recreation. It's our stress reliever. It's who we are. And I'm glad that we are. I'm glad that we are crafty people. And I love this stamp set. One of my all-time favorites, Butterfly Gala. So if you haven't gotten this one, this is another one that is coming back, thank goodness. So if you want a beautiful stamp set, it did come in a bundle. I'm not sure if it is anymore, but you got the stamp set and this. I believe the bundle retired, but you still can buy it. You just don't get the 10% off, but you can still get this. You might have to buy them separate, but it's the Butterfly Punch and the Butterfly Gala, and this punch works with some of the other stamp sets that has butterflies on it as well. So a great, great set to have. And I got frogs in my throat, y'all. Oh, I left an antenna out. So let's go back and pull this antenna because we don't want to lose him. It takes losing one little piece of a stamp set that can ruin your entire day and ruin your stamp set. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our pieces back on here. Here's that one. And we're missing something. This one right here. Okay, that one goes back in there, and then we got our two little jars that need to go back. And I think everything's back on that one. And then we've got these two pieces that go back in here. And I have discovered that it's better to keep your negative pieces, and it helps you to be able to make sure that you've got all of your stamps back in your stamp set. Because if I didn't have these empty pieces, I might not have known that these stamps went back in here without really doing some looking and hunting and that sort of thing. Okay, so we're ready to put this in here, and this is beautiful. So put some wet glue on this, and we're going to place it in, giving us that nice little border, and press it down. And how cute is that card? Look at that. I love the dimension. I love the colors. I think this card came together beautifully. And there you go. Now I did get a little bit of ink in there, but that's why I have this little mono sand eraser. And hopefully when I write my little message in here, I'll cover up a good portion of that anyway. There we go. I got it off. And there is our beautiful little card. I think it turned out gorgeous. I just saw one little place that I didn't get ink. Right there. And this is the good thing about doing something like this. You can always come back and add. Speaking of adding, I made a little bow that I think will look so super cute. I am going to trim these tails because I don't think we need the tails quite that long. And we got a cute little bow to put right here. So I'm going to grab a mini glue dot. And I am going to, these are very, very tiny, so I'm going to use my, take your pick tool, and I'm going to lasso this off, just like that, and I'm going to stick this down right there. And then I'm going to press my bow right there into that glue dot, just like that. And that gives us our little added touch of elegance with a ribbon. I love it. I think it turned out beautiful. If you love it, leave me a comment and let me know if this is something that you would like to make. All the supplies will be listed, and you can get everything that you need at my website at Stampin' Up. And I will have all that information in the description. And oh my goodness, what a fun card to make. This card was so much fun. And I hope that you will get the stuff to make this. I will list where I got my sentiment from. That was from the band Together. Now, the stamp set will not be available for you to purchase until June 3rd. And on June 3rd, I will actually post my catalog, the new catalog, so that anybody who wants to download it, any of my customers, will be able to go to either my Facebook group or to my video, and I will definitely come on June 3rd, and that video, that link will be there for you to get, so you can do that. So thank you so much once again for being so supportive, for always giving me the encouragement that I need to keep doing what I do. And I just love y'all all so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do, for being an encouragement to me, and for always just being there for me. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I'm going to zero in on this card so that you don't have to see all of the ugliness here on my desk, but just to see my new creation. Thank you once again. May God bless you and keep you always, and be kind to one another, and love God with all your heart. And as I always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to your Father in heaven, for He is so worthy of our praise. Until we craft again, bye-bye.